All right, I'm gonna start recording. Turn my computer up just a bit. All right. So hopefully that helps you guys. I don't know if it helps you to hear me clearer or better, a little bit better. Let's see what we have in the chat. I can't hear anything. Daniela, can you hear me now? Is she on still? No. Oh, there she is.
Okay, I can hear now. Thank
Okay,
you.
perfect.
Yeah, I did
All
it on a
right.
different phone. I'm not sure what happened. Sorry. Okay, I'm good now.
No worries, no worries. I just want to make sure all the tech is working. All right, good deal. All right, guys. So again, happy Monday. We're going into spring, one of my favorite times of the year. If you guys are on, I'm going to be muting you because of the background noise. So please don't be offended. It's just I gotta have quiet so that the recording is a good recording and that you guys all can hear me. All right, so let's hop into LA County. So LA County, you guys, for sale properties that are actually currently on the market went up 9.2% over last month in LA County, up 54.3% over last year. So that's huge, right? We are definitely seeing more inventory than we've seen in a very long time. And I'll share some things with you in the when we go over the news, how that's impacting us, right? But definitely you guys are seeing right here 54.3% higher than it was last year. So definitely we're seeing some increases, which gives buyers more options, right? Which is a good thing considering we were in such a severe seller's market. At least they're starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel, which is good. Sold is up 17.1%. Properties that have actually closed escrow up 17.1% over last month and up 0.4% over last year. So LA County still is holding strong in that three of the three major sales trends are in the green. Pendants are up 7% over last month, properties that have gone into escrow, and up 0.9%. So not holding on by much, right? But still holding on in terms of being a positive number over last year. So we are seeing some increases over last year, even though in these two categories it's very nominal, right? All right. So inventory, new listings are up 0.9% over last month. Again, still small change, but still positive, right? However, up 17.4% over last year. So still up significantly over last year, new listing inventory over last year. So that's good in LA County. Average active price has gone down 4.1% over last month at this time in the month, and we're almost through the month. We're on the 22nd. This reports as of Saturday, you guys, just so you know. Okay. It goes from Saturday to like Friday night, and then it reports on Saturday. Okay. Um, all right. So down 10.4% over last year. So sellers in LA County are on average asking 10.4% lower than they did last year. However, they're receiving 12.5% higher than they did last year. Okay. So although they're asking for less to the tune of 10.4%, they're receiving higher 12.5%. Okay, over what they did last year. Okay, so that's a big difference, right? That's double digit appreciation as of right now. In the year, what are we, March? So that's January, February, March, three months into the year, right? Now that may level off a little bit. Why? Because we're seeing more inventory, right? More inventory typically brings about a little bit more competition, right? Which then brings about lower prices. That's typically what happens. But in a starved inventory, in a starved market like we've been as far as inventory is concerned, even what we're receiving right now in inventory, we're still not out of the seller's market, and we'll see that. Right? We'll see it right now, right? Months of inventory, we're down 15.7% over last month. So last month we were at 3.8 months of inventory. Now we're at 3.2 months of inventory. Overall, it's 55.6% higher, which is great because last year, look at that, we were at 2.3 months of inventory, which is nothing. And now we're at 3.6 months of inventory. which, you know, is great when you consider where we came from, right? So 3.6 months of inventory puts us like right there at that threshold. 4 months of inventory brings us the threshold to a normal market. So 3.6 months of inventory is right there, but not quite there yet. We are still in a seller's market. And this is where you got to be hyper local, because some areas are still in a severe seller's market and other areas might be right there in the 4 months of inventory, right? So they may already be um, looking like they're in a more normal market, right? A more balanced market. So you've got to be hyper local so that you can tell your seller or your buyer what that market in that neighborhood really, really looks like. Okay. All right. Average days on market is down 14% over last month. Last month we were at 43 days on market. Currently we're at 37 days on market. Do not let these numbers fool you. You have to get your buyers out there quickly, no matter what, right? If it's a good property, you have to have a sense of urgency and get your buyers out there quickly. Okay. Now, um, overall, as compared to last year, we are up 17.1% because last year we were at 35 days on market. Currently, we're at 41 days on market, right? Why is that? Because we got more inventory than we did last year. So, of course, days on market is going to be a little bit longer, right? All right. Sold versus original list price. We're up 1% over last month. Last month, we were at 98% of list price. Currently, sellers are receiving 99% of list price this month. Okay. Sellers in LA County are ecstatic, right? They're happy. They're getting 99% of their list price, right? Now, there's no change over last year. Last year, sellers are receiving 97% of list price. Currently, they're receiving 97% of list price. Okay. Now, we are the major influencers over that number. Really, what we need to be doing with our sellers is making sure that we are advising them properly on how to value their property, right? That's our jobs, is to help them to come up with that value so that they can market it and get, or we can market it and we can get it sold for the top dollar. But we don't want to be over aggressive, because then it's just going to sit on the market, right? Okay. And right now, with more inventory, having more competition come on the market, before you could probably overprice it and it would still get several offers, right? Because hey, you were the only game in town, right? However, now when you've got a little bit more competition, you may get one offer, but it might be lower, right? Because the buyers have a little bit more to choose from right now. So you really got to be aware of that, and you've got to set that seller's expectation, because some sellers still are thinking that they can shoot for the moon because they don't understand market conditions, and that's our job to understand the market conditions, right? All right, Orange County. Let's go to the OC. So for sale is up 12.8% over last month. Okay, properties that are actually on the market currently up 12.8% over last month, and up 77.8% over last year. That's huge. If you looked at that number in isolation, you would be like, the OC's got inventory running out of their ears, right? No, they don't, right? Because they were 0 months of inventory last year. It was ridiculous. Okay. So no, they needed all of this 77.8% of inventory coming on the market, or for sale inventory on the market. So that just means that people that were sitting on their properties not wanting to sell for various reasons now has decided to sell. Okay. Sold is up 15.6% over last month and up 0.3% over last year. Okay. So definitely, again, seeing a rise. Now, I believe last week this number was in the red by by 0.2 or something like that. So you see how it's flipped? It's gone into the green. So as you get further and further into the year, because we should see a slight increase on solds, right? We should see closings go up. That's all the predictions have said. We should see closings go up this year, and not by much, but definitely we should see a positive increase. So right now we're sitting at 0.3% higher than we did last year, which is great. Pendants are up 13.1% over last year and up 0.9% overall. Okay. So 0.9% overall. So more escrows, more solds, and more for sale properties. And new listings is down 11.4% over last month. However, holding at 10.1% higher than it was last year. So we've got more new listing inventory on the market in the OC to the tune of 10.1%. So that's great. Okay. Average active price is up 0.2% over last month and down 9.3% over last year. So sellers in the OC are asking 9.3% lower than they did last year, probably recognizing that they have more competition, right? Recognizing that there's more properties on the market. So they've got more competition than they did last year. There was nothing on the market, probably nobody in their neighborhood was on the market. So they were like, shoot, we're the only game in town. We can be more aggressive with our pricing. And now they're seeing, nope, got more properties on the market. So we're pricing it competitively. Okay. And understanding that interest rates, right? Interest rates have we're going up. So definitely being more competitive, taking all those factors in consideration, are pricing it 9.3% lower than they did last year. However, look, they're receiving 8.4% higher than they did last year. And for the month, 5.9% higher over last month. Okay. So 8.4% higher overall. So sellers are, although they're asking 9.3% lower, they're receiving 8.4% higher than they did last year. Okay. All right, months of inventory. This is where it's a trip, right? Because that's why they're receiving still 8.4% higher than they did last year. Because although last month we went down 12.2% lower than we were last month. So inventory was at 2.5%. I'm sorry, 2.5 months of inventory last month. We're at 2.2 months of inventory currently. So that we actually went down. But look at this, 81.5% higher over last year, because last year, look at this number. I mean, it's so scarce. 1.3 months of inventory. Right now we're at 2.4 months of inventory. We're not even close to being in a buyer's market. We're not, or even a normal market, right? So still in Orange County, we are still seeing that we are in a seller's market. So when you have a buyer, when you have a seller in that market, as a buyer, they've got to be aggressive, right? They got to get there fast. They got to make an aggressive offer, because they're still in a seller's market. And yes, you need to be hyper local, because maybe in that particular neighborhood, maybe it is more of a normal market. But this suggests that the OC is still in a very severe seller's market. Okay, now it is moving in the right direction, because it was 1.3 last year. It's 2.4 now. So it's moving in the right direction, but it's not there yet, right? It's not there yet. So very competitive in the OC. So you got to be very aware of those market conditions out there. And for your sellers, you probably are telling them, being aggressive with their pricing, not out of this world. Because why? Because you still got an appraisal out there, right? You've got the property has to appraise. So you can be as aggressive as you want to be, but then your property won't appraise, and then you're going to be back at just being competitive. And I don't like to put my sellers through that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. So average days on market is 11.4% lower than it was last month. We were at 31 days on market. We're at 35 days on market last month. We're at 31 days on market currently. And then it's 28.6% higher than it was last year. We were at 28 days on market last year. We're at 36 days on market currently. Okay. Sold versus original list price, no change over last month. We were at 97% of list price. Sellers are still receiving 97% of their list price. 1% decrease over last year. Sellers were receiving 98% of their list price. Currently receiving 97% of their list price. Okay. And just understand that with a lot of this, sold versus original list price, my theory is that we do have sellers in the OC who are really pricing it really, really up there. And then they end up having to decrease which is why you're seeing, and when I say decrease is something that actually they should have started with, right? But they wanted to try to fish and see if they could catch somebody out there who's willing to pay them way more. So then they have to decrease maybe where you're getting this from. Okay. All right. Riverside County, let's go. Riverside County for sale. For sale properties has increased 4.7% over last month and up 51.2% over last year. So across the board, we're seeing that, inventory has continuing to increase over last year, which is great. And then sold properties increased 11.7% over last month. However, closings have gone down 4.3% over last year. So in Riverside County, we are seeing a slowdown in terms of sold properties, okay, or closings. Pendants are up 26.4% over last month and up 6% over last year. So again, inventory is up, pendants are up. Hopefully souls will follow suit, right? It's just taking a little more time for them to catch up, but hopefully they will follow suit. All right. New listing inventory is down 6% over last month, however, has increased 10.3% over last year. So definitely seeing, again, keeping in line with all the other counties, Riverside County is definitely increasing in new listing inventory. So that's great. Average active price up 1% over last month and up 3.1%, down 3.1% over last year. So sellers in Riverside County are asking 3.1% less than they did last year. However, they are receiving 2.8% higher than they did last year. I love these numbers just because these numbers are definitely more in line with your normal rate of appreciation. Okay. Normal rate of appreciation historically is 4%. Okay. So this definitely 2.8 is a little bit under the historical average. However, we're early in the year. We'll see how things continue to go. But definitely for buyers who are already having affordability issues, right? These numbers, because they're slow progress, slow appreciation, help buyers who want to buy in Riverside County to be able to afford it. Even if they missed out last year, they may still be able to afford it and get in this year. Okay. And then months of inventory, we went from 4.5 months of inventory last month to 3.8 months of inventory, a decrease of 15.6%. And then overall, we've increased 59.3% because we went from 2.5 months of inventory last year to 4 months of inventory this year. So in Riverside County, we are right there, right? Where we are at that threshold of a normal market, okay, in Riverside County. Which is probably why you are seeing, right, the 2.8% appreciation over last year because you have more inventory. Okay. So it's not astronomical growth because there's not astronomical competition and all of that, because there's more of a normalized market out there, or starting to be a more normalized market out there. Okay. It all makes sense. These numbers really start to make sense once you understand how they all work together. All right. Average days on market is down 1.9% over last month. We were at 54 days on market last month. We're at 53 days on market currently. And a 15.6% increase over last year. We're at 45 days on market last year. We're at 52 days on market currently. Okay. And no change in terms of sold versus original list price. We're at 0 change over last month and 1% decrease over last year. So last year we were at 97% of list price. Currently we're at 96%. Sellers are receiving 96% of their list price. Okay. And we have the most influence on that. So we have to help guide our sellers so that you can actually increase that to your seller receiving 100% of their list price. Okay. So San Bernardino County, we are looking at for sale properties have increased 3.7% over last year. Over last month, and 47.1% over last year. So definitely again, across the board, more inventory, right? Or more inventory has come on the market. Solds have gone up 11.4% over last month and down 7.1% over last year. So definitely San Bernardino County has the, uh, in terms of sold properties and our sales being down, San Bernardino County out of the four counties sees the least amount of sales, right? So I think when we looked at Riverside County, it wasn't nearly 7.1%, right? We were right there, I think 1% or so. So 7.1% definitely, we're seeing that impact. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully, San Bernardino County will rebound. But as you go out into Riverside County, San Bernardino County, you do see less sales because there's less demand, right? As you go out. Okay. So that does make sense. Pendants are up 18.2% over last month and down slightly 1.5% over last year. So again, we'll continue to take a look at that. New listing inventory is down 8.8% over last month. However, it's up 9.9% over last year. So still growing in terms of new listing inventory and inventory in general, still growing across all the counties. Average active price is up 0.3% over last month and down 1.4% over last year. So sellers are asking on average 1.4% less than they did last year. However, they're receiving 7.1% more than they did last year. Okay. So San Bernardino is actually receiving higher levels of appreciation, even more so than Riverside County, to the tune, and I would expect that because San Bernardino County, I look at it as is a little bit closer, right? So I would expect that they would get a little bit more inventory, 7.1%. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry, inventory, a little bit better rates of appreciation. Yeah. Okay. 7.1% higher. All right. So months of inventory, 16.1% lower than we were last month. Last month, we were at 5 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 4.2 months of inventory. So we went down. Overall, we're still 56% higher than we were last year. So last year, we were sitting at 2.7 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 4.2 months of inventory. So definitely, Riverside and San Bernardino County are right there at that threshold of being in a normal market. So we're going to see higher levels of days on market. Appreciation should start to lessen, okay? Because we have more competition, right? So we should start seeing our numbers do some changing around here with it being starting to get into that normal market. All right. Average days on market, no change. We were at 50 days on market last month. We're at 50 days on market currently. A 16.3% increase over last year. We were at 43 days on market last year. We're at 50 days on market currently. Sold versus original list price has gone down 2.1%. So last month we were at 97% of list price. Currently, sellers are receiving 95% of their original list price. And then 1% change overall decrease. Sellers are receiving 98% of their list price last year, 97% now, right? That makes sense, right? More competition, more inventory. That means that sellers are going to receive a little bit less, especially if they're pricing their properties as if, we were still in that really aggressive market. Okay. That is it for our sales trends. Any questions? We good? All right. Let's look at our upcoming events. We've got group coaching with Diana. So you guys should take advantage of that. All righty. We've got 9 a.m. conversations in real play with Diana on Tuesday morning. We've got office hours with Ed. He will be in-house. It is not on Zoom. It is only in-house Q&A with Ed. And that will be, yes, tomorrow at 11 a.m. You guys know we still have the Ignite going if you're a new agent or if you're a seasoned agent that wants to really dive back into your business and put some systems and models in place and you need some help with that. This is a great refresher course for everybody. Okay. So take a snapshot and go to this and sign up for Ignite After Dark. Okay. Then on Wednesday and Thursday, we do have Ed on Zoom, at 10 a.m. Okay. On Tuesday, we are back at it with Pavin. That is the last class, March 25th of the Fix and Flip series from 1 to 2:30. Okay. That is tomorrow, the 25th from 1 to 2:30. Make sure you're there. It's the last class. We are going to restart this series because it has been wildly popular. So we are going to restart the series. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything, you guys. We do have our regional tech training. So for those of you who really want to go deep into the technology, we do have classes with Ro Manahares, which is our regional tech trainer. It's all on Zoom at 3 p.m. And 3:30 on 3 o'clock on Tuesday, 3:30 on Thursday. Okay. All right. And so Ed's topics, just so you guys know. Oh, I'm sorry. Wednesday, no class with Ed here. No class with Ed. He will not be on Zoom. He's going to be with Huntington Beach. So if you ever want to go to Huntington Beach office, you're welcome to go. That is our sister office. And he'll be live there. And then Martha will be here at 1 o'clock on Wednesdays for her tech class, and that's not on Zoom. Okay. And then we have Victor, who will be doing his 2 o'clock. You guys know his 2 o'clock class, Dial for Dollars. It has been getting a lot of good traction. So you guys be there. So I also wanted to mention Media Day. We need to know who all wants to participate in Media Day with Hometown. Gary Watt. This is where you go out and he does the videos, right? So we're doing one open house video, one agent walkthrough video, one trend video, and then one local highlight lifestyle shoot monthly. These are the deliverables. Okay. And it's not $250 per month. It's $100 per month. That's because the market center is willing to subsidize. So the market center actually pays $500. Each of you guys pay $100. And remember, the videos come ready to go and you can use them, time and time again. So if you're interested, please put your name in the chat or call me afterwards, text me. Most of you guys have my cell phone numbers. Call me or text me to let me know because we have to have 6 people sign up for us to do it. Okay. For it to be worth their time, they need 6 people. Okay. So we do need to know if you guys want to do it. So let me know. All right. And then we're supposed to schedule our next date for April. I think we scheduled, oh gosh. It was supposed to be April 1st or April 2nd, okay, that they would be here, which is next week. So I need to know. So please put your name in the chat and or text me. $100. All right. I think it's a very good deal for the caliber, the high quality of videos that we get. And the learning and the experience that we're getting. I think it's a good deal. All right. So that's it for all the classes. Okay. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent Podcast. Do not forget, listen into that. The Rating Fans Formula, Turn Clients into Your Biggest Advocates is the episode that dropped yesterday or today, actually. Episode 75. So listen in. All righty. And if you guys want more details, like if you're like, oh my God, I love this episode and I really want to dive and I want the one pager, mreanotes.com is where you sign up. And on Thursdays, they send the notes. And if you don't have it and you didn't receive it, let me know because I do have the one pagers. Okay. So let me know. Let me see who's in the chat. Definitely. Oh, you listened to it. Great, Danila. I love it. Okay. I'm going to be listening to it on my way home today. So love it. All right, let's go. Also, the One Thing podcast, that's another podcast that you guys can add into your rotation. Again, just want you guys to be listening to things that are going to help uplift you, help bring you business, help keep you on that positive mindset, because it's all about our mindset. It's all about us having the best tools in our toolkit. But you got to be sewing into yourself good, uh, good things, right? You can't be listening to things that are going to bring you down or things that aren't going to help you grow, right? Because you get enough of that in daily life. We got to be listening to things that are going to uplift us and help us. Okay. So that's why I keep bringing these things up, because they are great sources, and they're things that I do, right? They're things that I do, and they're things that other top producers do all the time. Success leaves clues, right? So you just have to look at those clues and use them. All right, some industry news. So the Fed leaves the rates unchanged. They had a meeting last week. They left the rates unchanged. They met on the 19th, but they left the rates unchanged. They do forecast that they may do a couple of cuts later in the year, but right now, they said that they are in a place where they did not feel like they needed to cut the rates right now. The unemployment rate and the higher consumer spending um, basically was like, they did not want to mess with anything right now, especially with, um, he talked about all of the governmental changes that are happening. He just did not want to mess with the rate right now, because they are not sure if inflation is going to hold or if it's going to go up as a result of the governmental changes, the unemployment rate going up, if we're going to the tariffs and things like that. So things like that have a little bit of more uncertainty. Now, in the article, it did mention that later on in the year, they do expect that inflation will hold and go down. And they expect that they will be able to do a rate cut, which is why they said they forecast 2 cuts later in the year. However, right now, with the interest rates holding steady, it is bringing about a little bit more. People are starting to get used to being in that 6%, that upper 6% range. People are starting to get used to that and starting to come back into the market. However, it is still, I'm not at all suggesting that it is still not an issue and it's still not an affordability issue. We still have that here in Southern California. We're going to continue to have that. Okay. So, so they were talking about that. We should look later in the year for those cuts, but right now we're not going to see any relief on the interest rates other than them just remaining steady. Now, I will say over the last 2 weeks, they have inched up slightly, okay, because they have been going down for like 4 weeks straight. Very small incremental decreases. Well, the last 2 weeks they inched up just a little bit. Right now we're about at 6.75. If you are an FHA borrower, I have such hard times with my R. Then you probably are at like 5.95 or something like that. But definitely get with your lenders, ask so that we can, so that you can stay on top of that for your clients. Okay. All right. Spring brings a mix of gray skies, green shoots for real estate. What are they talking about? Basically, they're just saying that, February, we rebounded on our home sales. But we did still overall as a nation, as a United States, we fell short as compared to a year ago. Okay. So we did rebound a bit from January because we had a slow January. So we rebounded from January. However, we are still slower as a nation than we were last year. Okay. And what that has to, a lot of that has to do with is our economic concerns. It's pushing consumer confidence down. Joblessness, the layoffs in the government and things like that. And then you've got rising inventory that is giving, we know this, giving buyers more choices. We are not, to me, we are not shifting into a buyer's market. I don't see that we're shifting into a buyer's market. Our numbers suggest to us that we are going into a normal market, which the outcome of that on the other side definitely is a buyer's market, right? But it's going to take some time to get there. It's definitely going to take some time to get there. These things do not happen overnight. Okay. So we're talking months for us to get through a normal market to then see that now we're in a buyer's market, right? Um, Places like Orange County, LA County, we're not even at that normal market threshold just yet. So we've got a long ways to go. We are still in a seller's market. Remember, a lot of these reports are made for nationwide, and so they're reporting what's happening nationally. They're not reporting what's happening in California. All right. All right. Redfin. Okay, so just so you guys know, Rocket Mortgage bought Redfin or is in the process of buying Redfin. And it's just, I like to let you guys know about this stuff just so that if your clients know about it, you're not blindsided by it. But Rocket Mortgage is buying Redfin. It's kind of interesting. It's an interesting deal because you guys know Redfin gets a lot of data from our clients because of what they do. And so partnering with Rocket Mortgage is trying to create this super app with Redfin, create this super app for an end-to-end kind of solution where buyers are able to go on there and they're able to get pre-approved right online, search for their properties using the Redfin app, and basically do everything electronically, to buy a home. And even in this article, they're saying that, yep, they're going to disrupt the lending world, but they could never shut out agents. Okay. So they're saying, yes, this super app, because Rocket Mortgage and Redfin is going to partner together and they're going to have the data from a lot of consumer data. It could definitely help them to sell their services, lending services to more consumers. However, the process of buying a home, the process of selling a home will still never be relegated to a piece of technology. What they are saying, though, is that also in the article, they said agents need to become more tech savvy if we want to keep up, because more consumers, especially the younger consumers, are looking and they want the technology to be more efficient, to work faster, right? And if they see an agent who uses technology, they're more drawn to that agent, right? So, and that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. We're seeing that all over the place. Why do you think AI has got so much traction and is growing at such a rapid pace, right? Because there's so many different uses for it, which makes us more efficient, right? So it all makes sense. But it was some couple of good articles regarding the state of our industry and what's going on. Any more questions? Any questions, guys?
No. I had a quick question about the fix and flip. Is that are those classes available on Zoom too, or just in person?
Good question. Let me find out. I think they're not available on Zoom, but what we did do is we recorded them. So we're going to release like the series so that you can watch them.
Awesome. Okay.
There'll only be one class I think that you'll not be able to take, and that one class I think is episode 2 or 3, because that was a site visit. So we actually went to the site. We actually got to talk to him about the whole process right there in person, because he's always using one of his properties as our case study. Okay. So that will be the only one that you couldn't take. But other than that, all of them are recorded.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay. You're very welcome. And you can do me a favor, Laura. You can send an email to our front desk requesting the links to those classes so that we don't forget you. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
And that's frontdesk561@kw.com.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? No? Well, you guys have an amazing day. Get off the track, get started, be productive, make your calls, right? You just had a great call. We're ready. We're talking real estate. So this is a great time for you to get off of here and start making calls, start calling your sphere, start calling, people that you've already had in your mind to call. So make your calls, have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Bye everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for
Thank you,
being here.
Brandy.
You're welcome.